I'm Allison Hutchison. I am the Associate Director of the Engineering Communications Program here within the College of Engineering at Cornell, and we have a really unique program that is embedded within the college, and one of the things that we try to do in particular is partner teach with engineering faculty. For the past 3 years, I've been working with Professor Sunny Jung in the Biological Engineering Department, and we have a partnership with his capstone design course, so a physical design in biological engineering course. And I teach the communication partner course to it, which you might think of as something like a communication lab. So every week the students go to lecture and lab on the biological engineering side, and then they also come once a week to an engineering communication course where we scaffold and structure different components of the teamwork that they're doing, the different types of background research, as well as primary research that they're doing on their users and the service environment that they're working with. So it's a really unique curriculum, and it's a really awesome opportunity to really get inside of another person's head and how they're approaching their curriculum, and doing that in such a way that we can help students learn to communicate within an authentic context. In terms of the individual components of service design, we can break that down into props, processes, and people. So props can be, in the case of this course, in a capstone course in biological engineering, it's a physical design course. So the props are mostly physical. They are real materials that people can tangibly hold and interact with. But if we were in a different department or a different environment, props can also be something that are digital artifacts. So maybe that's something like a graphical user interface if we're in computer science. For processes, we can also think about those as having both front stage and backstage interactions with humans or even with computers and devices. And then people, of course, are all of the folks who are impacted by the design, again, both front stage and backstage. So are those the end users, right, who are going to actually use the equipment or the device? Are those the engineers that are involved in the design? Are those the advisors on the project, in our case with capstones, right, where we have different experts who students can talk to, as well as with our community engaged project, we really wanted students to be able to talk to real people in the community who would be impacted by the types of devices that they would create. One of the really crucial aspects of service design methodology is that it offers a much more powerful way of going about engineering design that isn't necessarily offered through, as I mentioned, other types of frameworks that might be popular in different disciplines. So one of the problems that we contend with, both in the engineering curriculum as well as engineering writ large, is that we end up often with either bad designs or products that are completely over-engineered. So if we think about bad designs, I can rattle off multiple examples of that. So for instance, I sometimes give students as an example an automated soap dispenser that was in a viral video several years ago. The soap dispenser works for a white hand. It does not work for a black hand. In terms of service design and what that methodology offers that others don't, so say for instance, user-centered design or user experience, you might think of those as umbrella terms over service design. Something that user-centered design doesn't necessarily offer is the framework of props and processes that are so key to engineering disciplines, all engineering disciplines across the board. If we focus on the user as the sole end of everything, right, we don't necessarily get at other components of a design that are important. So you can't ask a user, for instance, what would you like in order to do your job more efficiently and more robustly, because they might give you an answer that is completely unfeasible. If you think about something like props, right? If you're a material scientist, you know about structure, processing, application, you know about the chemical level of a material that's going to inform the type of prop that you choose. So for instance, this semester we had a team that was working with an automated coffee maker, and they reconfigured that system in order to build a nitrogen testing device. So if I was an environmental engineer, I might think about something like going to a landfill or going to somewhere like Reuse in Ithaca, where they get lots and lots of donations of different types of household devices that might be broken, or maybe they have limited functionality, and that's something that we could repurpose in a design, right? We can think about a new way of using that would be really awesome and interesting. So another element of service design that's super applicable and something that we put into practice into these partner courses this semester was a focus on people and designing with people. So for instance, at the beginning of the semester, a bunch of students from the class went to the Ithaca Farmers Market, a lot of them for the first time, and talked to a bunch of different farmers in order to gather insights about different challenges that they might be having or ideas that the students were thinking through in order to develop their designs. So for instance, we had one team that was working on a hydroponic mushroom device, and they went and talked to the mushroom distillery and several different mushroom growers at the farmers market. They had follow-up interviews with mushroom growers. They really talked to people who are using mushrooms in a variety of ways. And one of the things that they discovered through that process of talking to people was that there's a real issue with mushroom substrate. So basically the materials in which you need to grow mushrooms are something that create a lot of waste product. So they were really interested in that. They thought that that was a really important problem to tackle. And that's something that they would have been completely unaware of if they hadn't done some research, if they hadn't gathered some insights firsthand from people who are urban mushroom farmers in Ithaca. So that was a really great opportunity, and we're really thankful to the Einhorn for that, because this was something that, again, helps us get outside of the classroom. It was something that allowed us to go and talk to people, to be around the types of people who are experiencing problems that perhaps could be mitigated through different types of engineering designs. This semester, with the help of the Engaged Curriculum Grant from the Einhorn Center, we were ready to really jump into service design methodology with the students and introduce them to props, processes, and people in a way that would directly impact the types of physical design projects that they were working on. So let's take a closer look at how they actually did that. This entire project has been a collaborative effort that is really unique across engineering colleges, and even, I would say, across the world. I've talked to a lot of different people in different engineering colleges, and I don't know of a single place where an engineering faculty, a communication faculty, and a library faculty are all working in collaboration with one another. So I want to say thank you to Professor Sunny Jung for being our partner for the past 6 years in biological engineering with the Engineering Communications program. I want to also thank my co-teacher, Christina Sheely, who is the former engineering librarian and now associate university librarian, as well as Hudson, who is a former student that took our partnered courses, the BEE and ENGRC 4590 course in the past, and has been an incredible liaison between the faculty and the students. This is something that I think is totally transformative to the engineering curriculum. When we teach in partnership with people from different areas, different disciplines who have different levels of expertise in different areas, we can bring a different curriculum and a different capstone experience to students that is much more hands-on, much more experiential, and in terms of what we are doing through the Einhorn Center, much more engaged with the community. So we are, last but not least, very grateful to the Einhorn for this opportunity to do an engaged curriculum project.